Hi, everybody. It's Jim N4BFR. Here's your COVID 19 update for the last Wednesday of July, July 29th, 2020. In today's report, unfortunately, it's another Wednesday and we're not really seeing any improvement. I guess the best thing we could possibly say is it's not getting worse, but in no way is it getting better. After weeks of trusting people to do the right thing, wear masks, and those kind of things, we're not. Because Georgia's now sixth for coronavirus cases. That's after being eighth for population and 10th for testing. So what this means is that we are not testing as much as we should. We're not testing to the size of our population. So we probably have a lot more cases that just haven't been diagnosed yet because it takes 4 days to go and get a test in DeKalb County, and it takes another 4 days to get your results back. So this is where we stand today. A poor testing strategy leads to an undercounting of cases, even though we're already one of the worst states in the nation for COVID 19. That said, let me go through the data. We had a below average day for tests. 25,000 tests, where we had been seeing closer to 30,000. That is not indicating any of the additional 10,000 tests that Governor Kemp promised 10 days ago. So we will continue to wait on that promise like we have been waiting on people to do the right thing and see what happens when we get tested. In the meantime, our percentage of positive rate was down a little bit. 13% of tests were positive. That's just under where we've been seeing our percent positive rate. So we had 3,200 new cases today. As I said, that's probably underreported because we're not testing as much as we should. And that's right on par with what we saw last week. So again, no better, no improvement. Let's look at hospitals. We tried to cram another 4,000 people into the hospitals, another 400 people into the hospitals yesterday. And with that, 410 new hospitalizations, it rose our active hospital population to 3,188, a new high. Now, the really interesting thing here is we're seeing news reports all across the state that emergency rooms are full. There was one report I read today that if you show up to the emergency room, you might actually have to wait in the ambulance because there's no room in the emergency room because there's no room in the critical care ward. So we've really got our hospital thing figured out after spending all this time in April flattening the curve so we could get our stuff figured out. It's not figured out. Our hospitals are getting overwhelmed, and our general administration is really not doing anything about it that you can see materially. That also shows up in our critical care unit stats. We are now 87.2% of our critical care beds are in use. When you go on to look at our CCU report, you're going to see that we have still 6 of the 14 regions above 95%. We've got, above 90%. Floyd Medical, that's up in the western part of Georgia, is at 95%. They've only got 8 beds available. The only one that's really improved on this list over the last couple of days is the Shoreline area, where they have added 41 beds. They actually have 41 beds available now. They've dropped down below 90% to 85%. That's the Brunswick and Jekyll Island and Savannah areas of Georgia. Tift region is one of the areas that has been showing the worst area, and even in the articles I read, I'm not really hearing any help there. I'm hearing about possible enhancements in Milledgeville. I'm hearing about the beds that may or may not open up at the Georgia World Congress Center, but no real help for the folks down in southern Georgia right now. I guess maybe Florida can help them because we don't seem to be able to. 96% in Northwest Metro, Kennestone, is fairly high. They did add a couple of beds to keep themselves flexible, but that's not really solving the problem of more cases. So that's what we're seeing today. Sorry to be a bit of a bummer, but got to call them like I see them. And right now, I see them very poorly from a response perspective. So we will be back tomorrow. Maybe there'll be some better news. Maybe I won't have to talk about, which I skipped over but probably shouldn't, I won't have to talk about the fact that there were 79 deaths today. And for 6 out of the last 9 days, 50 people or more have died in Georgia. We have a 44 death per day rate right now. And just to put that in perspective a little bit, if you take the last 9 days in Georgia, more people have died than the first 3 weeks of July combined. But deaths are down, so we don't have to worry about it, right? That's what they keep telling us. So cases are up, deaths are up, testing is down, and I don't understand why, and nobody's following up. So let's just hope for the best, and maybe we can convince some more of our friends to start wearing masks. In the meantime, I'll leave you with that for today, and we will see you tomorrow.